here. Who is that?
Our brains are playing tricks on us. This girl is not a legend.
Happy birthday to you. Read.
Welcome to the first episode of Say Cheese or Die. My name is Dan Page, and today we're going to talk about a 2021 movie known simply as The Resort. It's produced by Double Down Pictures and Moonbase, and is the first horror film that was produced by Quavo of the hip-hop group Migos. It was written and directed by Taylor Chen, and stars Bianca Hayes, Brock O'Hearn, Michael Vlamis, and Michelle Randolph as four friends who are going on a trip for Hayes' character Lex's birthday. Lex is a writer who studies horror fiction, and one thing she has always wanted to see is a supposedly haunted resort in Hawaii. You know how it goes from here. The four friends make their way to the island, which happens to be a minimally inhabited satellite island that is only reachable by either the rare boat or by helicopter. When they get there, their curiosity leads them into trouble with the local legend, known as the Half-Faced Girl. Let's break it down and go through the review. Beware, spoilers within.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The movie has its highs and lows, and a lot of the time is spent, unfortunately, in the lows. It's not that the story isn't good, but the movie, at only 78 minutes, doesn't even get to the titular resort until almost 35 minutes into the film. In addition, it's being told as a flashback by the main character Lex, who reveals that all of her friends were killed while speaking to a detective. These were some questionable choices, to say the least, as who was killed wasn't really a surprise. The last 20 minutes of this movie pick up a lot, and there are truly some great scenes, which we'll touch on later. The dialogue can be at times cringeworthy, and the character stereotypes are barely hidden, but the movie really takes some chances towards the end that really do pay off. The music is questionable at times, which is sad considering that Quavo of Migos is one of the producers. Couldn't you have called in some favors, my dude? The sound mix also has some awful moments, and despite being muffled overall, it has some scenes that sound like they were recorded on the Talk Boy from Home Alone. Finally, the ending is just strange. It doesn't really resolve anything, and really ends up providing more questions than it had before. Obviously, this movie isn't trying to be Citizen Kane, and if you can get past the flaws, there definitely is fun to be had. One thing that really hits home with this movie, seeing as how we're getting it in 2021, everyone's ready to take a vacation, and the characters even mention that this is their first big trip after lockdown, which I'm sure we can all relate to. Lex is a good final girl character, and all she really wants to do is see this resort. She deals with everyone else on the trip who either wants to go swimming or see the sights of the island from stunning vantage points. All she really wants is to see this damn resort. The special effects are hit and miss, with one of the strangest effects that is never really fleshed out being this strange swarm of birds over the island who are flying in this odd helix type pattern. It's easy to pick apart this movie, but let's give it a shot when we perform The Unburial. At The Unburial, we talk good about this movie and leave our negativity aside, because fans of this genre will love this movie and will probably want to hear the good things, so here goes. As discussed earlier, Lex is a solid character who is devoted to her craft, while caring about her friends. It's not the deepest character, but the beautiful Bianca Hayes sells it well and comes off as a wrong place, wrong time victim. Also, the gore effects at times were pretty awesome. For example, during the death of Sam, played by Michael Vlamis, the half-faced girl literally tears his face off his skull, leaving moving and blinking muscles, organs, and blood. It's a hard scene to watch. In a movie with this budget, I didn't expect to see such a picture-perfect scene. The movie doesn't shy away from gore or adult language, that's for sure. Now I want to dive into the origins of this story. Is it true? Well, we'll see on Based on a True Story. There are two aspects to this story that I was able to fact check. First things first, this was filmed at a real resort in Oahu, Hawaii, located at Makena Beach. You can check it out on Apple Maps, and you can still see it right there on the water. However, if you check on Google Maps, you'll notice that the entire building was demolished in 2018. Sad that such an important piece of movie history went down the drain. Secondly, this is likely based on the story of the half-faced girl in Oahu. This is a clip from KHON2 News in Honolulu describing the legend of the half-faced or no-faced woman.
Travel down the road to a popular East Oahu mall and you may encounter an unexpected guest.
It hosts the ghost of a woman with no face and long black hair. So they've seen her in the downstairs bathroom at the mall. They've seen her in the Eightplex Theater. The cashiers have seen her standing in line. People have seen her in the freight elevator. But the common description is that she has no face. But you can't tell until you ask her for help or until she walks up right next to you. She looks like a normal female, but the second you talk to her and she looks at you, no face.
Let's take it on to some of the trivia. Now, IMDb doesn't show much in the way of trivia, and we've already discussed the real-life story and location of this film. As of the filming of this video, this movie comes in at a 40% thermometer score on Rotten Tomatoes, followed by an audience score of 18%. You know what that means. Critics thought this was better than Batman vs. Superman.
Why did you say that name?
Well, audiences didn't. This movie was called Nawiedzony Hotel in Poland, which is the least Hawaiian-sounding hotel I could ever think of. Brock O'Hearn, who performs as Chris, rose to fame by posting a Facebook video of himself putting his hair into a man bun, which he has in this movie. What a claim to fame. Michelle Randolph, who played Bree, is the younger sister of Cassie Randolph, who won season 23 of The Bachelor in 2019. All in all, The Resort is exactly what you'd expect it to be. A low-budget movie with a relatively unknown cast. However, some of the effects and jump scares really redeem this movie. The ending makes no sense, to me anyway, and the characters are very one-dimensional, but it was a fun escape for the most part. I give it a 6 out of 10, and can give it a partial recommendation, especially since it's streaming now with a subscription to Hulu. Check out The Resort, plan your next vacation, and come back again to see me, Dan Page, on another episode of Say Cheese and Die, only on 3CM TV.